up to his indictment and arrest were legally obtained. It's not a hit piece or an act of retribution. Curtis Jackson was an executive producer, but does not have creative control. No one was paid to participate.
That's interesting.
So that's the air surrounding it. We're going to talk about a couple of things in this video. I'm going to run down. First of all, you got to watch yourself, but I'm going to run down a bit of what happened, and then I want to talk about the most surprising thing to me. Like, obviously, I covered the trial and was tuned into the trial, so a lot of the details around Cassie and the freak-offs and the horrible things that has landed Diddy in jail now weren't new news to me, right? But there were some things that put in perspective, and it's not exactly new news, but put in perspective Pac's murder and then Big's subsequent murder, and if Diddy had any involvement in that, and if he did, what was it? So we're going to get into that. I'm going to talk about that today, too, a little later in the video. I'm putting chapters in the video, too, so y'all can skip around. Please like, please subscribe, please comment, please share, please hype. I see a lot of y'all getting y'all YouTube year-end reviews about things that you were listening to, the top 5 podcasts or whatever. A lot of people have me in their top 5. I appreciate it. If I'm in your top 5 and you got that little ass, go ahead and share it, man. I'm going to share it too. But I appreciate all of y'all. But let's get into it, all right? So, like I said, the doc doesn't paint Diddy in a favorable light at all. And it makes an attempt to, and let me say this, doesn't paint him in a favorable light, like doesn't do him any favors. But I don't think it is bad or false. It is people's accounts. It's some things that we know to be true because we witnessed it in real time. Like, I don't think it is necessarily a hit piece, as they would say, or presented to be live or something that's not true, but it doesn't really anything. It's not like somebody we have a counterpoint like, no, Diddy was an angel, he was a saint, he was in church. Like, there's none of that, right? So it doesn't do him any favors, but it makes an attempt to explain how he got to this point as such a beloved figure of music, right? It starts off with him being raised by his mom, Janice Combs, his dad being a hustler, home of Melvin, right? Melvin Combs, who he was murdered, and how that him with his father and that reputation of his father over Puffy from a young age. He tells the story how he got into music at Uptown Records with Andre Harrell, how Andre Harrell became a father figure to him, and talks about how determined he was, how he was able to translate culture and channel energy to make stars like Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Notorious B.I.G. It talks about a lot of criticisms that people have for Puff is that, he's not a real producer, he doesn't press the buttons, he doesn't make the beats, and we heard that all the time. But it does a good job of explaining how he was able to harness energy and then go into the studio and make that energy. Like, the fact of the matter is, no matter what you believe about Puff as a producer, touching buttons or not, there was magic that came out when he was in the studio at Uptown Records with children. He's the captain. He's a producer, not touching buttons. But then we it also talks about, and then it also talks about getting fired from Uptown Stars, rising. Talk about and violence. Again, heavy murder. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of started the violence, way sexualized all the time. Like when laws that we have city cops and that's the conflict was over. More people wanted to get in than there was room for at the college gymnasium, and they didn't have enough. Talk about that early, how that kind of thing talk about the storm over the odds taking out this Diddy filmed the scene of himself on the cross. In Nas's Hate Me Now video, at some point he realized, this is not a good move for me to kind of depict Jesus in this way. He hatched out to remove the scene from the video. The scene didn't get removed. The video aired with that scene in it, and Diddy and his bodyguard went and assaulted Steve Stout, right? They talked about the Club New York shooting, right? Infamous Club New York shooting. Get him! But it was definitely a big thing. You know what to do. Sicko Togo. That's not just pitching the last thing. Get him! And of course, they tell stories about Puff being violent with late Kim Porter. Early on in their relationships, they talk about the beatings that Cassie suffered. The one that we all saw in the video, and then accounts about others that we didn't see. Sexual allegations from Little Rod, producer on the Love album, that on the Grid album that Diddy dropped the Grammy nominated one. He filed a civil lawsuit claiming sexual assault from Diddy, but sexual allegations from Little Rod, Cassie. They talked to one of the male sex workers that participated in the freak off, so there's a lot of accounts on that. They also talked to Albert Shore, who had a child with Kim Porter. So, Kim Porter was with Albert Shore first, and also Albert Shore was an artist of Sound Records, so there's a relationship there. They talked to Albert Shore, Captain Clark, testified against O'Day.
Northridge.
Kane, in years, has talked about her issues with Puff and hasn't backed down on the negative things that she feels about Puff, the negative things that she feels that he did. They spoke to Mark Curry, who's been spoken about for years, wrote a book about Puff. Mark Curry is a former bad boy, the hanging with Mr. Cooper comedian. Mark Curry, the rapper. He wrote a book about it. They spoke about every time they get him. Keep your distance, boy. You know what to do, boy. Stay down. Of the ride of Bad Boy, so they spoke to Kirk. To me, Kirk's accounts drove most of this, right? And they also spoke to Tupac's cousin is in there.
The soldiers used to speak of a brothel.
Again, none of these people were paid according
to that was north of the checkpoint.
And like I said, there weren't a whole bunch of accounts here that didn't Puff very many favors.
They had the dame as friends in the south.
What did you say was in these pies?
They did also speak to jurors about verdict. One of them cast doubt.
With the right to confiscate any objects forbidden by the
Big on.
Cassie.
The gates for citizens, not
essentially like
serfs.
two lovers in a toxic relationship together. I guess that was a brief way to
I simply can't decide. I'll just have to take them all.
Find Diddy guilty on the RICO charge. And, if you watch my old videos, I talk about that. I thought Diddy was found not guilty on the RICO charges.
Yeah, that's what that girl, little disclosure, I'm not doing that shit no more. That shit's whack. She's becoming whack, actually.
I don't necessarily agree with what the juror said.
Even if I don't have anything tonight.
The fruit's not getting any fresh.
I know bullshit.
Mean that Puff was guilty of something, or the Puff just wasn't doing heinous shit.
Do you see anything you like?
Just wasn't RICO.
Come back again.
But they just touch on that. It's not really the focus here. There's a lot in here. Definitely recommend watching. And, a lot of, again, if you were following the trial, a lot of the stuff about kind of the freak-offs and Cassie and is not necessarily new information. And we talked about that extensively during the trial.
I doubt you could afford even that much of my time.
But the part that really stood out to me was episode 2, where they talked about the role that Diddy allegedly played in
Upon
the
reflection,
death
you
of
don't
Tupac
have the
Shakur.
scent of a branded
And
about you.
and then the circumstances surrounding
The flowers.
Biggie's death, which happened
Otto
after that,
always
Biggie's
did
murder,
know how
which
to
happened after
please
that.
me.
This isn't
More
necessarily
considered
new
it
information,
anyway.
right? The
Do you
theory
think
has been
you
going
could
years,
please me,
talked
Clive?
for years, and Keefe D, if you look up Keefe D, he's facing the trial for the murder of Tupac
Let
next
us
year in
leave
2026.
such
So it's been hitting
impersonal
the news,
titles
right?
to my less
Keefe D's been on
preferred
Vlad TV. He wrote a
clientele.
book. But in the doc,
You
they had
can call
never
me
before
Isabel.
heard audio
Otto assured me I could
of Keefe
trust
D's
you.
proffer,
I
where he
can
admitted
trust you.
to the police that
Can't
he
I?
and Orlando Anderson killed Pac at the
You can
request of
trust me,
Diddy.
yes, but
That Keefe D orchestrated it. He
why
was in
would
the
you
car.
Help you?
Orlando Anderson, I believe, pulled the trigger,
Because that's
according to
what we
Keefe
do.
D.
Long
And I had never heard that
ago,
audio
Sid
before. I
did
don't
me a
think the world has
kindness
heard that
when no
audio
one
before,
else would.
though they've heard versions of those
I have
accounts.
never forgotten that.
Keefe D is a
Without
Crip,
it,
right?
I would
And it
not
was
be
said
where
that
I am
Diddy
today.
and Bad Boy, and the doc lays
And
this out,
so,
and Diddy and Bad Boy were
I make
on,
it a
when they were
point
on
to
the
do
West
the
Coast,
same whenever
they linked
possible.
with Crips to hold them down through
Which brings us
through a
here
Harlem Connect, an old Harlem Connect, Ron Zip,
to the final
who was tight with the
obstacle
Crips out there. So he
between
linked them
you
with the Crips, and when they
and
went
whatever it is you
to
seek
the West
in the
Coast,
holy capital.
the Crips held them down, and they spoke to
I fear the guards are
spoke
not
to
likely
some,
to let a masterless
they spoke
bearer
to
pass unmolested.
I don't know if it's current or
Unless-
former or what it is, but they spoke to somebody affiliated with the Crips or affiliated with the Crips at one time.
Unless,
Of course, by this time there was already
his
issues with
master
Suge
deigned
from
to
the
appear.
95 Source Awards.
Yes,
But really,
that will do
you know,
nicely.
95 Source Awards is the one that is the thing that
But
romanticizes. You know,
I
dancing
shall
in the
expect a
videos
favor in
and all
return.
of that. But the real incident,
what?
which if you do the research, and a lot of people know about this is not necessarily new information. You know, you may be hearing it for the first time, but I know a lot of you aren't. But it was the shooting and the ultimate death of Suge's boy, Jake Robles, in Atlanta at a party, and a member of Puff's crew was said to be involved. They also had accounts from Suge in there about, you know, the
We
death.
cannot have people
You know,
thinking
They
I
mentioned
tolerate
Puff, though, didn't
disobedience from
there
my
when the
branded.
shooting happened.
The men who gave me
Puff
this
passed
are
and
no
said,
more
yeah,
my masters than
like
you
he
are.
witnessed the thing, but he wasn't like involved in the thing. He was leaving the
It's
club
not as if I
it
can
happened.
hide it.
There
From
were
the
words
moment you
exchanged
acquired
between
it,
Suge and
that
Puff.
brand has done
So this
naught
whole
but
back and
take.
forth between Suge and
But
Puff
today, it is going
extends
to give
way
you
past and way more
exactly
serious than
what
what
you
happened
want.
in the Source Awards.
Just play along.
The beef was getting real, right? Like, and according to Keefe D,
Madame,
Diddy said in the
back
room
to the
full of
veil
people
already?
that he wanted Pac
But of
and Suge's
course,
heads.
we must make ready to
And that
welcome you, my
eventually
dear.
Keefe said that Puff
And who
offered
might
$1
this
million
be?
to have him killed.
Why, my new escort. The
This is
streets
Doc.
aren't safe for a
This is
girl, what with all
according
the
to Keefe D.
royalists about.
Now, in the doc,
Well, don't work him too
that $1 million
hard.
is interesting.
Well, that rather
because in the
depends
doc,
on
Mark
you
Curry
now,
brings up
doesn't
a song
it?
called Muscle
I'll
Game.
see you all at
Some of you may
sunset.
remember this song. It's from Black Rob's debut album, Like Story.
Oi,
Came
hold
out
up.
in the year 2000. The song featured Black Rob and Mark Curry, and Mario Winans on the hook. And on the song, Diddy drops
Another
like
fucking
ads,
branded.
and he does
Well, you're
like a
lucky you're
little
with the
interlude in
dame.
the middle of the song where he just pops in.
Get out of my sight, filth.
What he says is, and this is the year 2000. I think Keefe D's proffer was in 2008, 2009. So this predates all of that. But Puff says,
That wasn't so bad.
"Fuck with me, I'll drop $1 million."
Wasn't so bad. They might
Erase
have
you and your
recognized
whole
me.
family. Yeah, come on.
But they didn't.
Now
And
that's
even if
muscle,
they had,
right?
they
That's
wouldn't have done
what he
anything
said
about it.
On
The
track.
gentlemen of the garrison are some of
The
my
way
best. As do you.
that
We can.
Mark Curry tells the story is just like, oh, like why are you saying
Does
like,
it?
oh, you a gangster now for real? Like that Puff was turning into something else, because a lot of this is about his evolution, turning into this guy with ties from Harlem, because your father was a hustler, but you really was raised in Mount Vernon. He's a music guy. He was a good guy.
And if
he
anyone
wasn't a street
requests
guy.
her company,
And the money and the power brings kind of this street element.
as do you, my dear.
So doesn't
Shall I ask one
explicitly
of the
say,
girls
but
to
the
a
fact that
bath?
Keefe says that Diddy offered $1 million
Clive,
to
well-
have Pac and Suge killed, and then Mark Curry says, yeah, we was in the studio and all of a sudden we're doing this song, and Puff is like, I'll drop $1 million on your head, erase you and your whole family. You know what I'm saying? There's like a loose correlation there, whether or not
Thank you
that
for
is
seeing
an
me through the
outright
gates.
admission.
Well, that would have...
You know,
If you
I
be
don't think
better,
so,
I
and
oh.
nobody says that, but there's a correlation made. Keefe said he never got paid the full amount.
Proof of that, and hope
Pac
now.
was killed. Now, Keefe D was facing drug charges. Yeah, he had other charges, and was facing significant amounts of time, and was given some type of deal that if he told them about other crimes, including the murder of Pac, that some type of deal would be cut. The doc does note that Keefe D, despite playing his audio, that Keefe D claims now that the proffer was made under duress. So whether or not his account is accurate will fall into question, and I assume during next year's trial, when he's on trial for the murder of Pac in 2026, that's going to come up. Like, was the proffer made under duress? Was he telling the truth? Was he just telling the cops what they wanted to hear?
I suppose you'll need a little
there is a shadow of doubt cast over that now. It's important to know that Keefe D has also implicated himself or have knowledge of what happened outside of the proffer, right? Again, it's glad is a book with kind of things that point in this direction. And the trial for Pac murder is set for next year. It'll be interesting if if his name comes up in the trial, which I'm betting it will. And then to what degree does it come up?
Heard the bones
And
fell
how much does it affect him? He's serving time for this now. And there's talk
Sergeant's got it in for us.
I know there's talk from his team about him maybe getting out, being pardoned. Either way, he's doing about 50 months. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have a ton of time, or days, but he doesn't have a ton of time. But what I'm getting at is does he get out of this, or does he start to move on to put this behind him, and then is he facing something else on the other end? It'll be interesting to see. I truly don't know. When it comes to Big, they tell a familiar story in the doc. Puff wanted Big in L.A. to promote life after death.
Oh, and when you go crying
to
your
party,
mistress,
celebrate in
tell her
L.A.
it was
show
Leon
that
who
they
gave
weren't
you
scared,
the
to
pound.
show that they had love for L.A. Whatever
Use all
the
the
case was.
dirty tricks you want,
No.
Alright.
So
So you know one end of a blade from the other.
So cool talk about that. We know he didn't want to go there. There's a lot of accounts of people close to Big that he didn't really want to go. We know that members of the Bad Boy staff didn't agree with having Big out there.
What the hell are you playing at, Leon?
You know that Big was supposed to leave L.A. to go to the
So
UK
it's a real challenge he wants,
for a
is
press
it?
run.
Fine.
And Puff had him cancel that trip and stayed in L.A. longer
Sword
than
up,
he was
bearer.
scheduled, and
Let's have some
then
fun,
he
shall we?
was murdered. It's unclear
How the bearer win the dame's favour anyway?
necessarily make this
I know when
claim
to hold my tongue for a start.
that Puff directly had with Big Staff. Doesn't appear like it's I think that is Puff's ego
Potential. I'll give you that.
and his recklessness.
Stay down.
The big danger that him as the leader
I'll be damned.
didn't move with all the thought to protect Big and himself and the rest of his team. So to me, it's probably more the latter, that is ego and recklessness that put Big in danger.
Can I go now?
Greg.
Still, there's a responsibility there, right? But two things that came out of the doc that was wild. Kirk Burroughs, again, the co-founder of Bad Boy with Puff, a partner in Bad Boy early on, somebody who really on the day-to-day
The sergeant
the
may be a
work
surly
kept
bastard,
in
but he
line,
had our
kept the
number,
books in
all right.
order, made sure the business run. That's what Kirk Douglas was. He alleged two things.
Heard the bones fell
One was
favorably.
that right before Big died, Kirk said, and
To
this
the
just
veil,
according to
then.
Kirk said that
What do you think?
Big
Nothing
renegotiated
like a
his
quick
contract with
tumble on
Bad Boy.
another man's coin.
Because as we know, as we all kind of hear through the years, is that those contracts were not favorable to artists. So Big drops one album, Ready to Die, super successful. Likely that Big was like, damn, I should be getting more out of this for how successful this album is. And then, according to Kirk, Big was able to renegotiate his contract before
Crystal's
the
curse is bad enough. We can't let people starve as well.
I'd imagine there were lawyers involved, but they didn't exactly say that or get into that detail. But Kirk did say that Big renegotiated for more favorable terms. After Big was murdered, according to Kirk, Puff told Kirk to revert the changes, to go back more towards the old contract, or to revert all of the changes, or maybe just some of the changes, but basically to make the contract more favorable for Bad Boy now that Big was dead, because nobody would know that Big renegotiated anyway.
You look like...
Kirk says he refused to do it. If it's true, that's insane. That's crazy.
No,
that's insane. That's fucked up. Second thing that Kirk said is that Puff said, you know, he was going to give Big the biggest funeral in New York, the biggest funeral New York had ever seen. Really, really say goodbye in a grand fashion, in a grand style. If you were around or you look it up from that era, that, you know, Big's funeral was a big deal, man. It was a big deal in the city. You know, drive the hearse through Bed-Stuy, people going crazy, partying, celebrating Big's life. So it was a big deal. So Puff said that, you know, he wanted to give Big the biggest funeral in New York ever. But according to Kirk, when Puff saw the cost of what that funeral was going to cost, he took the cost and he put it against Big's reach. Meaning that he put it against Big's account. And so essentially Big had to pay for his own funeral, because it was coming out of the proceeds of his album sales. It wasn't like Puff paid it out of pocket. It was according to Kirk. He put it against Big's album. So the album sales were recouped. So the way it works is you know, you got to recoup costs, studio time, features, sample clearances, marketing and promotion, right? Those are all costs to create and put out an album. So all of those costs have to be recouped before you start seeing a dollar as an artist.
Yeah.
Music videos, another cost. And according to Kirk, he put the Big's own funeral on top of that. So all of that, the contract renegotiation, all of that is meant to affect, or all of that would, in theory,
Drover has more
how
regard for
Big's
his
family
cattle than the
paid
Empire
out.
does its bearers.
Big is dead, so Big is not getting the money.
Better head to the veil.
He has 2 kids. God bless his 2 kids. He has a mom. Faith was technically still his wife. I believe the divorce was a final, so he had a family who had a right to that Kirk gave would affect how Big's family was paid out from the proceeds of his music after his death. If that's true, that's foul. That's crazy. But yeah, man, it was interesting, man. It was an interesting documentary. I suggest you all watch it.
Well then,
and then you kind of make up your
suppose
own
you'll
mind.
need a little something to remember.
Again, there was nobody in it.
Excuse me,
to
you there?
say, yo, Puff was Angel. He was
Why
this
not?
good guy. There was nobody in it to refute. The director says they did reach out to his legal team
There are
a
3
number of times. So I think there could have been someone to refute what was being said. That being said, I don't think there's a bunch of lies or fallacies in here either. I think this is the account of some people. You know, some of it is there's 2 sides, just naturally, right? Like there's 2 sides to the story, and then there's the truth. I see it one way, you can see it another way. So there's some of that which you know, you play the semantics game. But in watching this, I'm just like, man, it sounds like this account could sound like a lot of truth in here. I don't hear a whole bunch of like straight up lies.
However, do they get that
I didn't
color?
think this was a hit piece.
There's
I
nothing.
don't think it was favorable. I don't think it did Puff any favors. I don't think it was mental, but I don't think it was fallacy, false, malicious, gossip, rumors. But these are people who have been speaking out for Puff for years. So you watch the thing, you decide on your own, and hit me in the comments and let me know what you think. All right? I know there's going to be a lot of
I'm a
debate.
man of my word. Perfume. Or
They claim that they got video from the houses of these hotel sex swamps that shows illegal activity.
Right, I get that.
So,
yeah, so the federal thing, as you said, like, because these are serious levels. The levels of racketeer RICO cases, racketeering, sex trafficking, high-level cases, they're going to take as long as they can to feel like they've built the strongest thing they can, because they're known for having such an amazing conviction rate. Like, it's hard to beat them. Or Gotti beat the feds. It's very rare that people beat the feds when they build that thing. So probably took longer than they even wanted to, but they clearly were trying to, me, get whatever people who were on those tapes to cooperate. More people came forward that were part of these tapes. And that's the connection there. That's why that took so long. But there is that distinction that even though we see the optics of going in the house, none of these allegations have to do with anything going on in those houses yet. It's only about these hotel situations.
Can I answer your question with potential conspiracy?
Mm-hmm.
So,
all this for a drink.
No, nothing to do with Kendrick.
Perfume,
You have to
cigars,
have
and
the humor.
spirits.
You have to have the humor, you have to have the
That's
facts,
expensive
and you have to have the conspiracy.
That's
the internet.
Okay. So
Question
we'll
is,
hit all angles we can. Okay, so to answer your
how
question,
can they
what took
afford
so
to
long
maintain
for
them?
the initial rate? Okay.
I suppose there's
So,
only one way to find out.
My theory is, and this is all alleged theory, I think this goes way beyond Diddy, and I think this goes way beyond just hip hop. And I think we're narrowing in, to your point, on celebrity right now. But I think this is far beyond just celebrity. So I think when they raid the house, right, they announced the tape thing publicly.
After all,
But that was more of a threat than anything else. That was to me, we have evidence. If you were a part of this, here's some time to make some deals. The same thing that happened to that same guy on the island, we don't know names. We don't know names. And there are names, and there are documented papers, and there are tapes. But we still don't have the names. And why? Because there were deals being made, because there was money involved, because there was power involved. This guy right here, that whose face is behind me, he was powerful, but he was not the most powerful person involved in this. And I think when they raided his house, that was a call, it was a bat signal to everybody else involved. Hey, if you got some shit, we need some money to take you off this list. We need some money to erase your tape. Because there's no way the tapes are just these physical tapes.
So you're saying that the feds are taking bribes to not indict or prosecute people?
No, I did not say that.
I know you didn't say that. I'm asking, are you saying that?
No, I'm saying that I don't know who the deals are between. I don't know if it's government deals. I don't know if it's deals between his party and other parties. I don't know if it's deals between heads of companies and each other. Like, I'm just saying that there's more powerful people involved.
I agree with you, and I'll share something with you. We're all big. However, the bigger picture. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean neither.
But
you're saying that explains the delay.
That's
my time delay. He's answering your time delay question. That's what's going on.
But when you said, okay, that you were going to, but then also you said another.
Yeah, all right. That's so.
Okay. Well, here's the other part. Do you think that they should have given him bond, $50 million? He clearly went through all the huge bond. He did all the proper steps of selling the home, doing all these type of things. But then it comes down to two issues, right? It's like what you said earlier, like the whole, is he a flight risk? Is he going to flee? He's going to go to Bali or someplace, right? So you worry about that. Russell Simmons is currently in Bali. Why is he in Bali? The accusations that he did that
was
to
upset.
get away from.
And I didn't test
It's all alleged because he does not have federal
Let's see
authority.
what her
that
chambermaid can tell us then.
behavior he may have engaged in some consequences. So he relocated there early before anything came.
So he's in Bali right now?
So you and
Yeah,
you
it seems
only
like
that she
it.
needed
Seems like
to
it
meet
is.
with some
Like a
didn't
yoga
mention
center.
I think in times allegedly he still goes, he still
This man
goes to the States at times, but maintaining
man
more of a
from the
low profile in the
garrison.
States and making that more of his main
Seems
residence.
a trip to the
Again,
barracks is in
somebody
order.
as rich as Puffy, yes, he has places. Is this guy just going to run away and go somewhere? Like DJ Flash, like he should go to Russia.
I haven't seen you around the Vale.
But then the other part is what I said earlier, Flash, your favorite.
The other part is the point of obstruction of justice, which is what we talked about, witnessing tampering, threatening witnesses, right, being aggressive that way. So what ties in with the civil is that the latest civil lawsuit against her comes from one of the women from Danny Kane, Dawn Richards, and her other partner in that group said that Puffy contacted her 54 times, calling her through other phones, trying to pressure her to get Dawn to drop whatever lawsuit she has against her. So that came out right.
I don't think I got a rap for some reason. I never do see one.
Situation. So that's actually hurt a case more than anything because it shows that you're capable of that type of witness tampering. That's true, right? So to me, once that got out, it was to the ruins that he got that way. It's much more different to me. Preparing for a case.
Yeah, how do you get yours?
Being detention centers in Brooklyn, then if he was in home arrest in Miami, you know, with monitoring and stuff like that. Like he literally has to go through. He's always protected whatever level of protective custody. He still has to go through a lot of the stuff that people have that environment have to go through, and you have to leave the lawyers in that environment, which is great.
I mean, the thing about this case, it's not even, to me, it's not even about like what he's doing, right? It's about the people around that are allowing you to do this, right? So I always advocate for human beings to hold their homies accountable. If I see you do some wild shit, I'm like, Jay, you doing some wild shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then if you continue the wild behavior, and I know about it, I'm gonna be like, yo, now me and you got an issue, right? Yeah. And then if you notice certain people, I'm not saying specifically with the Puff situation, but certain people will distance themselves from other individuals who engage in questionable behavior that they know about. Everybody got demons. Mm-hmm. But when you understand the level of whatever your vice is or whatever,
according to them, he claimed to have some business with a merchant there.
My partner Chuck Dizzle,
but that wouldn't explain his continued absence.
He to the radio station,
and you plan on traveling to Moore to ascertain the truth?
Like, hey,
isn't that what you want?
Oh, it is.
I'm not
but
even
I fear sending you there may cause more harm than good. The people of Moore are rather set in their ways. You'll find they have little love for bearers,
first of all, if you don't
and they will not hesitate to report one such as you to the constabulary. There is a man in Moore who owes me if his name is...
I won't fucking report you to save your life, absolutely 100%, because you're gonna hurt yourself or someone else, right? So when I look at these types of cases,
he's 8 years sober now.
8 years sober. Shout out to Chuck Dizzle. He went cold turkey that day. Really? That day. So salute to him, right? But what I'm saying is, when you don't hold your homies accountable, I'm not singling out Puff. I'm just everybody from Russell Simmons to everything that we've seen in all of our entertainment, right? Yeah. When you don't hold your homies accountable, they gonna come and hold them accountable for you. And I think it starts with fuck government, we govern ourselves, right? It starts with that shit. And I think that's important. That's the takeaway for me. It's like, you don't become this megalomaniac overnight. It gradually happens. It's like Jeremy. We see Jeremy off. It's like Jeremy. You know what I'm saying? Off camera, you know what I'm saying? It started like that. I'm just using an example. If you take a month, it's a terrible example.
Which I didn't.
You don't take months. Okay. It's an example.
Okay. I'm just clarifying.
He's like one nigga, and now I'm joking.
Okay.
How many bearers suffer to keep your granaries full?
Your habits become worse over time, and people are bear witness to this, and they don't
Bad
do it.
guy?
And that's my problem.
Yeah, it is.
It's not that no worse than being accused of being part of it.
Drugs and racketeering.
The problem with that, though, is you have people who have been advocating over and over. They get the band. Like, yeah, but they're saying something, not publicly, they're saying something to somebody who won't get him.
May have witnessed and
keep your distance, boy. Over here.
Bro, I don't know how.
Sick of Toggle.
It whatever happens. If I'm just sitting in the car and you rob a 7-Eleven, you jump in the car and I drive out of people, I'm an accessory to armed robbery. You didn't have the gun. You're going to prison, bro. So what I'm
Yeah, we're going to prison, nigga.
Are allowing these things to happen.
Well, I think one of the big things too that we're going to see more come out of is there was a lot of victims who ended up perpetuating the same cycle. I think there were a lot of people, whether that be celebrities, whether that be women, even in Cassie's case, or people who were victimized by him, that they may have been a part of that next move or the next organization. But there's a lot of people that I see, even talking publicly right now, that to me look more like victims than anything else, who are still trying to deal with a lot of the trauma that they might.
I agree with you. That's a big again, not victims. I'm just saying that you can't do all of these things today.
No, I agree with you.
And sick of Togo. Get him. Have to provide some other people. So I can't say what I would do, but if I'm Elliot Wilson, I'm guard the door while somebody's there.
Get him, boy. Sick of Togo. Get him, boy.
I mean, if I'm gonna work with y'all to help y'all bring this person down, I need to make sure that my family's straight or whatever. I'm not advocating for either one. I'm just saying people have to be held accountable for their complicity. Like I don't believe in just one person. This, like, you just did this whole thing by yourself. That's not true.
Yeah, and that's the hard part too, because when you're that powerful, the thing is, A, nobody believes you, right, when you're coming out against them, and B, your life is at risk. Like, a lot of these people who have been speaking out
should
for
be
a
well
long
stoned.
time. Even like if you look at someone like Jaguar Wright, who's been speaking out about a lot of this stuff on account.
You're not one of us.
For a very long time. I always check in and say, is she still alive? Like, and I could be curious, like, is she still okay? There's a lot of people who have a lot of money and get taken care of. And so if your bodyguard is sick of Togo.
Get him. There, boy. Get him, boy. Sick of Togo. Sick of Togo. Sick of Togo.
The other thing too is
Get him.
conspiracy theory on the South Side. I think the South Side.
Sick of Togo.
This is they didn't have to do the South Side.
Get him.
It's like, yeah, there's still those things going on about like involvement with the Fox murder and things like that. Those are all the things outside of this. But you're insane to say, right?
Yeah.
But here's the other part though too. I will share this on a personal level. I feel like what doesn't get said enough about it, the lawyer finally said it, is that my client's now dealing with treatment and therapy and made it clear about drug use and stuff like that. I think drug use is a major part. Again, it's no excuse, like you said. It's like alcohol. But at the same time, it's like I've seen Puppy looking like he's not in his right mind. And it seems like
He said it should be well stocked, and nothing was in it.
Well, I'll take it back again. So beginning, my thing is business-wise, Puppy. People act like, well, the industry knew what he was. All I knew of Puppy is that he parties, which is ironic because party and atmosphere and the joy of whatever. He party promoter literally out of college is what got him shine in this business, which led to being an A&R at Uptown and his music executive career launching. So I didn't do good business with him in the beginning. The main thing was because when Sean was on trial for that case, we did a couple stories with Sean right before the verdict was about to drop. Because Sean felt that they had turned the lawyers against him and he was going to go down and take the fall completely for this thing. So I never had a good rapport with Puppy throughout the years because of that. Because Sean John was powerful and they did advertising with The Source and Vibe and all the rival magazines. So they wouldn't go against Puppy for Sean to become a rival magazine. You know what I'm saying? I was the only one going to do it, but I had less of the risk because I'm not in business with him anyway. So, you know, so a lot of times, like I talk about that party where he got into a fight with J. Cole, and I walked through a
There, boy. Get him.
And then,
you know what to do, boy. Get him.
I was kicking it with him for a day or two, on and off, talking to him and stuff. He acted like he wanted to finally give me an interview.
Yeah, MMF,
Money Make It Mitch. And again, always lived a little out of it. And then when I left, he said to me, "Go do that bullshit."
You can ask me if I killed Tupac.
Hey, Mr. Brown said, what's the website to the Liberty?
I'll text you.
Okay. Text him. Then he can just tap it.
I'll text you.
Yeah, thanks.
He asked me if I killed Tupac. And then he walked around the room.
That's what he said to you and then walked out.
Yeah.
Did you ask him?
I didn't get to ask him. Probably last time I saw him after that. So it's like,
Did you ask him?
I don't know. There's like, it made me think about what he said about his colleague in radio. It's like, drug use is a major part, but that's no excuse. You're responsible for your actions. And again, if you're intimidating and abusing people, and if these accusations are true, he's going to go away for a long time.
Yeah, it is.
He told you to ask him if he killed Tupac. You got to ask me some real shit. Like, you have to ask me some real shit. Like, if I blah, blah. He didn't say in a way like, I did it. He said in a way of almost like, I want this moment of, to me, of redemption of me explaining the situation. That's how maybe, but it can be interpreted. It can be interpreted how it's interpreted, but that's what happened. So that's how I took it. But maybe I'm wrong, looking back on it and the situation. So again, I just think that powerful man, drug fueled, abuse of power. We know all the things that, allegedly or on the record. It's just like, clearly no one stepped in, like you said, to try to stop him.
I'm sure people probably
tried
to.
Yeah.
And himself.
And if people say, why are people saying something? Because again, when somebody falls from grace like this, we know how this industry is. You become ostracized. Nobody's taking your fall. And people aren't going to run up and speak in his defense. If it's like a reputation of indefensible action. No one's going to step up and say, nah, fuck my guy. It's going to be okay. Like, he's going to be in charge. Like, they're going to fall back and let the dominoes fall with the dominoes fall. Because that's how business also. Like,
I mean, in the Puff situation, yes. But I also think Puff has made a lot of it over the years. With people with Kevin Lyle stepped up to young
What kept you?
You know what I mean?
Late
so
for
it's
what?
like different people have influence in that way.
They tell you nothing.
A
wild beast is savaging my border.
Jeremy.
Well, I'm just saying.
Kevin Lyle stepping down.
Someone whose son's in mortal danger. He didn't seem all that worried. Something's not right here.
I'm not saying them
I need to be careful.
But the wolf! It's going to eat me!
Things from the
What if I can help it?
He stepped down. There was somebody from Nashville. That's not just hip hop. There's somebody from the Nashville side of Warner that stepped down.
Stay back. I'll deal with this.
I'm not saying.
Sick of Temple!
I think we're gonna see it in time, but I do think that there's some correlation.
All right,
Not to him though.
Let me clear up some of this shit because Jeremy Hecht.
Am I going too far down the road?
You are tripping right now.
Okay.
He said it gets to be because we said we're balancing it out with some jokes, just like the internet.
All right, well, let me balance
we're
this
giving
shit
you
out.
facts.
The facts
and we get to play into a little conspiracy.
Warner as a music group, as a company, is going through a lot of restructuring.
Yeah, even today, right now.
Yeah. From Julie Greenwald to everybody on down, they're going through a lot of restructuring. Actually, one of my friends just got let go today. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say today. Literally, there's a lot of layoffs going down right now.
Literally as we speak.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're restructuring. They have a new chairman that's coming in.
Wolf's work hurt.
Yeah. They have a new CEO. They have things are going down. Right. So what you're seeing is two isolated things happening simultaneously, and it looks crazy. But if you're not in the music side of the business, then you wouldn't understand. But under Warner is like Warner Records.
Yeah.
Atlantic. Yeah, exactly. So all of these things, so affecting.
Yeah, hey, all right. You're gonna need. Nigger. Anyway, any paper towel? Any paper towels?
No, I don't have any.
Lot.
Thanks for me.
You, Brandy, come here this instant.
No.
How dare you frighten my son? You slaughter his poor pet.
Let me get one,
and have the
nigga.
gall to return.
Let me get one,
And here
nigga.
that you know your weapon.
That unlucky wretch would be shows in it.
Father, he's... How come...
You plan on going?
I'm wasting my time.
You plan on leaving?
But I can't. How many bearers have lost their lives to this nobleman's sport?
Yeah, because I tapped it out to send to him, but it didn't ask me my birthday.
Yeah.
I went down on the circuit board. I went up and down the circuit board. I can't see where fuse go on to that stuff.
More victims of the nobles' games.
Like I said, it did just one.
It must be Clive.
Came out, changed.
How do you know my name?
The Dame. I'm in her service.
We're talking about
like yourself.
Same thing Universal went through, the UMG, where they laid off, I don't know, 60% of whole labels. You know what I'm saying? And consolidated. So, like, one of my contacts who would only be at Interscope now also works Capitol and also works Republic, Universal, and these are all in the UMG. So these are just music industry things that are happening that don't have. I don't want that to be the messaging that's correlated to this puff shit. That's completely separate.
What label did he under?
What, his label? He went through them all.
Well, he was under Universal and Warner, right? At some point,
different deals though. What times would he work with? Well, Bad Boy is his own shit, and then what you do is you partner with a bigger.
May their burden finally be lifted.
Right. Yeah. So his Bad Boy is his imprint, and it would get distributed through Universal. There's only 3 big labels.
I expect they'll find another soon enough.
So the height was Arista, the height of it. But as a label, you can also parcel
more bearers will die.
Acts.
How can they think
So
so little
Top
of
Dog
sending us to the
Entertainment
slaughter?
has SZA, who's on RCA.
Simple.
But then also Schoolboy Q, who's on Interscope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once you have an imprint,
Bearers
you
are
can literally,
tools when they're needed,
like, a la carte,
and
where
toys when they're not.
Okay, well, I'll take accountability.
Well,
I didn't mean to put that.
No, I just want to put that
a little conspiracy.
But a little conspiracy. I'm
such
just.
attitudes don't always go unpunished.
I didn't watch the full tape about it, and I thought about it in my mind. How much is conspiracy-wise Kendrick Lamar's When the Party Died? Sort of reflective of the soundtrack of his research is watching really the party master, the party guy.
Of course, not wolves
take
kill.
a big fall. Elliot, have you ever been to a puff party? He said, I hate this. This is the dumb shit too. I'm asking a question. We've all been to a puff party. I've never been to a puff party. That doesn't mean we've been to a sexual orgy. I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you that, King. Everybody been to a puppy party. Well, a lot of us. Have you ever been to a puff party? Me, DJ Head, I've never been to a puff party either. So you're the only person on the stage right now who's been to a puff party. We're actually not on stage. We're on the stage. It's elevated. Okay, what is your question, DJ? Okay, so my question is, how many puff parties have you been to? Excellent. On the mic, he's 18, 19, 20, hosting a party. No, his party that he threw. One house party, New Year's Eve, Miami. Okay, thoroughly. Outside,
Not much chance I'd make it through the penitence gate without someone recognizing me as a deserter. Sid had better have a plan.
Why are you at that party also? Why are you implicating people? Huh? You just throwing niggas in. You know what? I didn't witness any criminal activity. People that party with puppies without involving crimes. I didn't ask you about no crimes, King. This is the internet. This is the internet.
The gates are closed.
You enjoyed going to a puppy party, or you had a good.
Look here, man. This
yourself?
Branded would be so bold as to seek passage.
What's wrong with the internet? I hate the internet. I hate all y'all. You love the internet. You motherfuckers. I love the internet. I hate your McMill jokes. I hate the way that you walk. I hate the way you talk. I hate the way you dress. Puppy parties now have a negative connotation, which has nothing to do with what a puppy party is supposed to be. Have you ever been to a puppy party? The puppy had a 50th birthday party.
right? A lot of people there. Everything else is shit to giggles, right? This is what they be talking about. Shit to giggles. You get all your shit off. I answered you. Okay, no, I'm asking Jeremy. Never been invited. Okay, me.
Had another branded drop in the field yesterday.
How do they establish the harvest when the ones the capital sends us are already half stoned?
Would you have somebody that put to a party? What? Just ask. Can't even get in the club. I wanted you to meet him. I've never had the experience.
There's a lot of field to search.
So I would like you to,
With a little luck, I might have seen her.
I just did. I've had many experiences at a puppy function. Okay. The only puppy personal party I went to was an invite to a New Year's Eve party in Miami. Me and my wife attended. And I saw other people. I wouldn't mention other people. Party was outdoors. What you already said, but Joe was up there two-stepping. It was the beginning of him doing the deal with Revolt, State of the Culture show. Oh, yeah. It was in that era. So Joe was really the only one on the dance floor two-stepping. That's how early the party is. I was at that party. And I left early and I saw nothing wrong about anything or anything. The party used to be a good thing. And a lot of times when these celebrities are saying, LeBron saying, yo, yeah, puppy parties are the best. It's not talking about these type of things. There's another set of rules. But we look at in front of the internet and go crazy.
I feel like there's another. There's the party and then there's the after party.
And that's the other party, the after party. Yeah. And that's the California culture, right? Like, what's this? California culture? Yes, it is. Hear me out. The Hollywood culture of the idea, if you're at anybody's house at a certain point at a party, and people really, really want to party at like 2, 3 a.m. and the drugs come out, it turns into the after party. And the after party can get a little bit more risque than the party. But again, these are criminal actions. These are beyond that type of situation. This is like coercion. This is force. This is abuse. This is terrible. This is not partying. It crosses the line. There's a difference. But the internet wants to have a party.
There's a difference.
Everything you see on your timeline, 80%
Can't
of that
do
shit
nothing.
has nothing to do with why this man's incarcerated right now. None of it.
Separate.
Literally. Not saying he's a fucking choir boy, holy boy, because he has 10 civil lawsuits active, and all these other strong accusations that are out there, including the possible murder of Tupac Shakur and multiple others. So, where we're at. Any more questions? Yeah. No. Okay. I can get off the stand right now.
You're a normal stand. I'm having your regular fun party.
You handle that well.
Yeah, I never got the info.
Puffy drew parties. He's a kid drawing. Like, imagine you're like.
If the people of Moore are as intolerant as Isabel says, it's no wonder the Empire never sent my unit here.
Like a celebrity. Young niggas partying, not celebrities. Like, talk about parties. Jamie Foxx's I give party. Oh, Jamie Foxx.
Go on, man.
That's celebrity house party. Shut about the club.
But I hope he's still effect on this.
Who's the young buck out here? You go to his party, 27 years old. That's gonna be the hot party on Friday night to enjoy the music. He's on the flyer, hosted by
Weren't expecting any new brand.
That's how he got on.
You don't think he's a deserter?
Records of
Rumor, advice, and mock.
Again, let's give him his props. One of the greatest vocals, one of the greatest producers, one of the greatest artists, like everything. Hall of Fame career. Catalog is amazing. You know, to be spurred by all this shit. You know, I'm thankful at least it seems like it hasn't taken away Biggie's, praise and his fame. But does he become an R. Kelly when we can't even listen to this guy's music? His DNA is in so much of the music that we love. But again, that's music, that's art. Then you have the person, and you move like a fucking despicable human being, and you hate this shit to people, you're gonna pay the price. Yeah. Well, the next subject. What?
Well, no, we can stay here. The Kendrick thing I thought was interesting at the very least.
Oh, yeah,
there was somebody who tweeted.
It smells of death here, Togo.
Also, and then somebody DM'd me around the same time.
Wolves.
Like,
we can't let them get any closer to the village.
The team he mentioned on that.
Give them all you've got, boys. Garuda.
I didn't have the inside of it.
Convenient.
It's Kendrick being a master. write this towards Drake. When you re-look at those lines in the light of the Diddy indictment, a lot of those bars actually make sense towards not only Diddy, but when they were talking about industry, specifically that side of the industry, where we're not talking about the party dying, we're talking about that type of party dying. We're talking about all of the, like you said, the heinous things that go on behind the scenes at the after party in the other rooms. It seems like Kendrick either could have known that this was coming or knew it was impending at some point. But the timing of it being a couple days before, and even the eeriness of the beat,
it sounds like the haunted soundtrack to the whole thing.
Yeah, it's almost like this is the end of an era of that type of partying, and I'm trying to bring back not only certain type of vibe in hip-hop, but lyricism. I'm trying to bring back messaging. I'm trying to bring back integrity, and I really think he's helping lead that movement. You see people follow suit. Lecrae dropped a song, D1 dropped a song, Ransom dropped a version,
Lecrae's song was dope. Shout out to the White.
Yeah, White Air Forces. I will say I did say that on my podcast.
We all know what happens to deserters.
Took the idea very quickly, but
Tell
it's
the
fine.
Dame
It's
I'm
fine.
sorry for her loss.
Lecrae
When the lads come to collect Yannick's body,
Why a White Air Force?
I'll see that Tatiana is delivered to
Is that Black Forces?
There's nothing. I love the Black Forces. I just can't wear the Black Forces, so I would wear the White Forces.
You can't wear the
what I can wear, and you know.
Perhaps the car will give us something to remember Tatiana by.
Where he talks about, again, that's not directed towards Drake, but he has a line about how nasty the industry is and stuff like that. Like, Meet the Grams.
Yeah, so he says, I've been in this industry 12 years. I'm gonna tell you a one more secret. It's some weird shit going on, and some of these artists here to police it. They be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender, then leak videos of themselves to further push their agenda. So some of those bars may have been Drake, but some of those bars could apply to multiple scenarios. And in fact, now you see it. It's probably more towards Diddy too, and maybe he was just connecting those two things. I know people also, I hate when people bring up Kendrick and Diddy have a picture together, and Kendrick said he was going to bring back Puff on Euphoria. Okay, everyone has a picture with Diddy. I'm just saying the Euphoria line, he was talking about the fight. He was referencing the fight that Diddy and Drake had. I think he was trying to correlate them. I'm not putting them in the same level at all. I'm not doing that. But I think what Kendrick's angle was to basically do that and make that comparison.
DJ Ed, what do you feel? Where's our cap? You got one in your head right now. You take it off?
What do you want?
There we go. Cap. Double cap salute. Double cap. You need a double cap. This don't got nothing to do like with this. Like it's just internet and media. Internet and media just be tricky. You know what, bro? Look at this.
See, this is why we need you to confirm.
Look at this. So, or debunk. This is what I want you to do, right?
Okay.
I want you to
read these
lines of the text.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So the corner let it read. Do not read up top.
Read it.
Read them to the top.
Can't read them out loud or no?
No. Just read them to yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, summarize what you read.
Can I see it one more time?
Don't read it verbatim.
No.
Summarize what you just read.
Weren't expecting any new brand.
Okay, basically what that is saying, and that was...
Don't think he's a deserter,
okay, so basically what that said was that the internet gets a little tricky because of the fact that there's all of these theories, all of this information, all this misinformation, and you, DJ Head, have to be the person sometimes to step in and say, this is fact, this is not fact.
Okay, and who was I meant to?
Am I allowed to say it? Doc.
Okay. So, Cat.
So you being the person whose job it is to be that.
That's not my job. I'm just saying that there's a lot of theories and like stuff like that going on. And like, bro, where you get this? The conflation of bro, Meet the Grams came out what, a month and a half ago?
More. Came out 3 months ago. Are you serious? May 3rd.
Dang.
It's been a long time.
It's been a little thing.
But still, the beat is about it. Still.
Yikes. Okay, so anyway, I'm just saying that was that at that time. Okay. I'm sure there was a grandiose thought process of like, hey, this shit is going on rampant everywhere, and it's weird. But I don't think that this has anything to do with.
As I was telling Jill, it's worse than I thought. The capital's crawling with soldiers.
Watch the party die. In my opinion, I haven't had a chance to
The
talk
deserter
about
come
it. Also, that was specific to the Meet the Grams.
Which is why we'll be taking the back door.
That statement, no, this statement was just a conversation. Yeah, I got it. But what I'm saying is, watch the party die. I haven't talked to him about that. Don't need to. Well, I did, but it was like with his and stuff like that. But it was more like, to me, it's more of a State of the Union address, is what I said last time. I don't think that it's like him addressing Diddy, him addressing this, and like, it's just, hey, this is what I see going on in the landscape. I'm like, it's simple. It's not really that, like, complex. It's like, I love, you know what's funny? And to me, I'll speak for myself. What's funny is the amount of YouTube think pieces and conspiracies. Like, well, remember Untitled Unmastered came out?
Oh, yeah, there's,
like,
the Moses theory.
The Moses theory, and then it ties in. It's like, bro, the homie does a lot of intentional things. But, bro, like, you giving, and this is me speaking for myself, you giving Dot too much credit, bro. The nigga is not thinking. You can never give Dot. You giving Dot too much credit, bro.
Taking a social place in the Empire, than that.
7 years out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I drop this 7 years and I be with this nigga. Like, bro, like,
could he be thinking in reflection? Like, hey, remember when I did that? Let me bring that back.
But that's the conspiracy theory culture that Jeremy spoke of, right? That's part of it now. Again, it goes back to the artists never speak to us, right? They speak through us. And also, fans feel like they have information at their fingertips, so they can piece everything together like internet detectives and have it figured all out. That's what we're feeling right now.
Tonight, just after sunset.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I understand. I'm just,
Where the shards are loaded for transport.
Speak on is what I know and what I don't.
That
If
is
I
one of
don't
those
know
heavily
why, I
guarded
show
points in
something.
all of Sambrek.
Situation. I'll just say I don't know if I don't know.
Which is a start.
But Watch the Party Die, though, could serve as well, I think, soundtrack. He plays completely instrumental. So again, the party man taking the big fall. Like it does connect. He just wasn't intentional. It's clearly writing a headline of a story. It's like Puffy, someone like that taking the fall shows the need of a reset, how messy things are, and how bad things have gotten. What's the future of hip hop look like? Where another one of our biggest now looks like it's down for the count. So. I mean, what do you guys think with that? I guess to put a button on the whole Puff situation, like, how do you look at this case, and do you feel like this is something he can beat? Is this something that he tries to figure out a plea deal for, like, or he gets incarcerated for a long time? Like, how do you feel his forecast what that looks like?
I don't want to.
And they'll do whatever it takes to hold on.
I think it looks bad for him.
Well, I don't want to put this out there.
The moment you raise your voice against them,
the guy I mentioned before, the island guy,
and slung in a cell to rot.
Not the island boys, the island man.
Who the fuck is the island? Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, why do you not supposed to say his name no further?
I just don't like to say his name on YouTube and stuff.
Okay.
You know,
some hip hop fans may not know who he is. So they gotta Google him.
Yeah,
and understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
we'll say his name one last time.
Okay.
His name was Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, you can look it up. So, what happened to him in jail was this season.
They're making a big screen. We're coming.
That's all tuning. Our fate means nothing to them. No, this isn't a battle you can win with words. Believe me, I've tried, but nothing ever gets through. The world is simply not ready to listen. So to hell with talking. If they won't give us a say, we'll decide our fates another way. You can't blame a man for wanting to bring an end to all this, can you?
I can't. But what of all the people you mean to rob of their comforts? Are you happy for them to call you outlaw?
Sid the Outlaw. That'll do me.
You might at least pretend to take this seriously.
Have a little faith, Jill. Even if you don't think much of my choice of digs. If it means my deeds will be remembered, I'll gladly play the role of villain. But first, we have a gate to crash. And once we're in, there'll be no turning back. So you best make ready. The world won't save itself.